Looking for the real story behind Gibraltar's border drama? In this video, we break down the heated debate, featuring David Lammy, about sovereignty, identity, and what the latest deal means for Britain. If you care about the UK's future, don't miss out. Like, subscribe, and follow for more sharp analysis.
Panel tonight, of course, we are joined by the Director of Public Conservatives, Mark Littlewood. We have the political supremo, Christian Calgie of The Express, and Nina Mishkov, the legendary broadcaster. Mark, I'll start with you. I mean, it's difficult to know exactly where to start with, really, isn't it? I mean, it's completely betrayed Britain today, both economically and in terms of Gibraltar. Can I just say, just to be clear on the Gibraltar thing, Mark, so when you land in Gibraltar, right, Pedro checks your passport, does he?
That's the idea, yes. So rather than you previously going from, if you wanted to go from London to Gibraltar, that should be no different between you going from, say, London to Manchester. But now, Pedro or Juan, whoever the Spanish passport officer might be, will be there to check you. Because they've got a kind of buy one, get one free deal. The idea is if you get into Gibraltar, from what I can make out of the agreement, you'll be allowed into the Schengen area. So this would be a bit like saying, if you make it to Dover, you're allowed into France. So at Dover railway station, we'll have French officials checking you. So the idea is, as Lammy has just explained in his own idiosyncratic fashion, that this will speed up what is a very busy border crossing. The problem's this: I don't know whether this government doesn't care about border control or doesn't understand it. You should be able to move from British sovereign territory to British sovereign territory without any foreign passport control. If you want the Schengen arrangement, then deal with Pedro at the Spanish passport office. That's fine. But how difficult would it be to have two, queues just to make sure people get in? Britain to Britain, whiz you through. If you want to go to Gibraltar for a while and then move on to Spain, France, Italy or anywhere else, you might need a Schengen visa. So this has raised many, many more questions than answers, but it's another area of border control that the Labour government has given up.
Well, first Chagos and now this, Christian. I mean, what is it about this deeply unpatriotic Labour government that doesn't understand how offensive it is for a British person to have Pedro's hands on his passport when he gets to British sovereign territory?
Look, Labour have proved time again they couldn't negotiate their way out of a paper bag, and I woke up this morning and I heard this news, and as I said, to paraphrase Ronald Reagan, the 8 most terrifying words in the English language are "I'm David Lammy and I'm here to negotiate," because that we're about to lose something very precious at that point. I'm willing for the next sort of 12 hours to reserve judgment on this, because we have not had, as you say, many answers at all, and we know that Labour's deals, whether they're with India or the EU or America, fall apart quicker than a British Leyland car. So look, let's wait for the details. You're right, I'm surprised that we couldn't have some sort of dual queue system. That would have been more integral, but I imagine David Lammy turned up and he had a piece of paper stuck under his nose and he signed his name to it.
But the problem for me is all this. We know it's not great, because if it was great, Nina, he wouldn't have flown over there in the dead of night, done it on the day that Rachel Reeves's spending announcement has done, and announced it just before PMQs. He's trying to bury this.
I don't think so at all. I think he's just managed to get it over the line. This has been discussed for years and failed, I think, last year.
Is that not just because Labour are signing everything that's always refused to sign?
No, absolutely not. I would just like to point something out to you. Do you believe in democracy?
I do believe in democracy.
Right, OK. The Brexit referendum, Gibraltar, 84...
They had a referendum on staying in the UK, Nina.
Brexit referendum, 84% turnout, voted 95% to remain.
Yeah.
So the people of Gibraltar want this.
No, they voted to be part of the UK.
Hang on.
The UK voted out, and that's what matters.
But they are not part of the UK. They're British overseas territory.
Well, they're effectively
and this jingoistic sovereignty thing is just childish. It really is. It absolutely is. There are more Spanish living in Gibraltar than UK nationals. There are more.
That's another problem.
No, it's not, because that's part of the way that Britain and Spain have shared this piece of rock. This deal will also...
It's ours.
It's ours. We're
not sharing it.
There's no shared...
It's ours.
There's no shared sovereignty there. It's British.
It's ours. What's the fault?
don't
share the Falklands.
I don't understand why you are so hysterical about this.
I'm not hysterical. I'm just saying what you said was factually incorrect. There's no shared sovereignty over Gibraltar.
No, I didn't say there was shared sovereignty.
You said we shared it with the Spanish. We are now.
The population, there are more Spanish than English.
There's lots of Australians in Earl's Court. It doesn't mean that Sydney runs London.
No, but if you go to Australia, you still have to have a visa if you're British, and that used to be ours as well, didn't it?
But it's not now. If the Gibraltars wish to leave the United Kingdom, fine. They don't. I also don't know what problem we're trying to solve here. You know what average incomes are in Gibraltar?
Yeah.
76 grand a year.
Yes,
on average.
But
there was no threat. This is what I don't get, right? David Lammy has created a threat to justify allowing...
You create up a legal threat being pushed by the enemy, by, i.e. the Spanish, who want Gibraltar. They are not neutral players in this. They're not concerned about the free flowing of goods.
Gibraltar.
No, that's the point. They want Gibraltar, and therefore they have an incentive to get Juan into passport control.
Tonto over the fact that they haven't got it. That's the whole point.
Well, we're giving you a way to
Can we just have an adult conversation about the Chagos Islands?
Well, not really right now, because it's not really on the agenda.
Well, no, because you mentioned the Chagos Islands as another surrender thing.